Hey guys, Kimmer here. Yeah, I got this mic here just because I think my audio quality is a bit shit, so I am just going to be using this from now on, I think, with some videos. So what's happening to me? Uh, there's not many drinks coming out. Honestly, there's not many at all. We've got two new rock stars here, but the problem is, though, is they're already widely available in other countries. So honestly, what's the point in me reviewing them if they're already widely available? I try to review the ones that are more local to New Zealand, so people can see if they want to buy them on eBay or something like that. Yeah, but I'm off school. I've got a few things in the works. Maybe a review or two. Maybe some things to friends. Hopefully things to friends. If not, then it can be a bit sad. But yeah, things are gonna be happening, and me and Mental, and maybe a few friends are gonna be playing the game so you know Jack, so you can see how it works, because I love your knowledge. Moving on to stuff like that. One of my favorite things in the world, my honestly favorite genre of TV show, is game shows. I love game shows. I don't know why, but ever since I was young, I've just watched game show after game show after game show. And my favorite game show of all time is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. And I'm not kidding. I just love the show. Just the thrill of the question, the knowledge of the questions, the thrill of the music, the setting, the atmosphere it makes, and the fact that someone could win $1 million or £1 million, currency is amazing. And one of the things that I'm just starting to see is that people. Yeah, let me go back to the start. The first winner of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire was in 1999, and a guy called John Carpenter. He managed to win the entire show without using a single lifeline. And, well, he did use lifeline, but that's cool. It's dead to say he was going to win the million. And everybody freaked out thinking, oh my god, this guy made it this far without using any lifelines. It can be done. A few months later, Judith Keppel managed to win UK Millionaire, and everybody freaked out. Oh my god, she's won. And then after that, people started winning more and more. But nowadays, on the American version and on the UK version, there are not that many winners. Actually, there's not many high-scoring winners. And there's a few reasons for it, I think. Mainly, one of the reasons why is because of currency, and that money means a lot of money means different things to different people, and a little bit could be a lot, it could be good. A lot may change your life, and depending on the person is how much money they need is compared to how much money they want. For example, say I go to university and I take out a $20,000 loan, and so I got a millionaire. I managed to get a millionaire, and I sit there, I managed to get to the first safe level, and then the host asks me, "What do you want?" And my first thing, I need 20 grand to pay off the loan, but I want 50. And so what that means is people are generally going to go up to the money level till they get to the part where they need it. Once they're in that zone, they can take a break and sort of get off their mind that they can walk anytime. But then, when they get up to the higher level, the want, that's when they're pretty much going to walk away and take all the cash they got. And with the recession and all that, money is not easy to come by. And getting a job is not easy to come by. And so being on these shows means that money means a lot more to you. That it's easier. You get it more easier. But the other thing is that people aren't willing to take risks because of the money and how much it means to them. And that's one of the things that is annoying me a lot. Mainly with UK Millionaire, because that's the one I've been growing up with. Before everybody know the cash tree is something to do with it. Well, before the cash tree was first five questions. The first five questions was 100, 200, 300, 500, 1000. That's it. Then it goes 2000, 4000, 8000, 16,000, 32,000. Nice and easy set. Then 64,000, 125,000, 250,000, 500,000, and a million. What I like about that is the fact that it's small increments where there's not much to risk compared to the next question. And that sort of egged on people to push it to go one that step further because the rewards were subtle. With the new version, with the new money tree, 12 questions. The first two, 500, 1000. That's okay. Then here's the problem I have. It goes 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. The problem I have with that is people are satisfied with the higher amounts. That only from getting 6 questions right can net you more than you could get in the old one. So, if you compare it, you get 5 questions right to get 1,000. If you get 5 questions right to get 32,000. And the problem is that when you have the amounts in the old one compared to the new one, you didn't get much before you didn't get much. You had to push yourself if you want to get a lot. And with the new money tree, since the amounts are a lot more than they were before, it's more easy to get it. People aren't taking that many risks because they've already got a nice lump sum right there. For example, 2,000, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, 8,000, 16,000, 30,000, all nice sums. With the new one, with the old one, they're close together. All the sums are nice and tight together. With the new one, the sums are spread out quite far. And the leap between 20,000 to 60,000, 20,000 to 50,000, I think pushes people to get to that 50 and then just walk away with whatever they got. Because 50 grand is a lot of cash. But with 35 grand, doesn't seem that much, and 64,000 is obviously better than 32. But then when you see the 64 and then the 125, it makes you see differently that you have okay amount here, but there's a real step up to the next one. And with the new one, once you get to the second safe heaven, you've got the jump between 50 to 75 to 125,000. And the thing is 50,000 is a good amount. 75,000 is only $25,000 more. And then you have a big jump, which is another 75,000. 64,000 to 105 is a bigger jump and less of a risk in my eyes. And maybe this question is slightly actually easier than the old one, but still. I prefer the old one to the new one because one of the things that pisses me off is people using lifelines on easy questions when they know the answer. For instance, somebody's looking at the question and then says, "Oh, could I ask the audience?" And then the audience shows a massive spike in results, and they go, "That was the one I was thinking of in the first place." And we're sitting there at home going, "Then why did you use a lifeline?" And people going, and one of the responses I'm thinking people will go with is because I need the money and I wanted to be sure. But if you're going to use it at this stage, then I can see, one thing I'm seeing is a lot of people are playing the game just to get to the 50 grand. I'm saying, well, the 50 grand is obviously going to help you. The show's called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I think the goal should be for $1 million, and if you want to get the million, then you're gonna have to push a few risks. For instance, Joe Trailer. On the US Millionaire version, he managed to get to he used all his lifelines up to the second safe haven, and then he won the million without the use of any lifelines. And he took damn bold risks, and it paid off. But compared to this one, I see people using 50-50 info and friend all in the same question just to make sure they know it, when me, a 16-year-old boy, can get to the 50 grand pretty easy just because the answers are easy. And most of the things that I see is a lot of the questions can be based and deduced down to logic. And the problem with the clock, yes, that'll put a bit of pressure on them. Yes, it's big amounts of money, but a lot of the questions can be figured out just by using your brain. And if you take it slow, think literally, think good, then you can figure a lot of the questions out just by using your own head. For instance, one of them was, which singer's real name is Stefani Germanotta? And the answers were Lady Gaga, Little Kim, don't know the third one, and Fergie. And it was for 50 grand. And I knew the answer straight away as soon as the name came up. But then this old guy looked and he just went, I've got to use the 50-50, I don't know this one. And then it deleted, it took away 2 and it left from Lady Gaga and Fergie. And I'm just thinking, okay, Lady Gaga is an obvious stage name. What person would be insane enough and cruel enough to name their child Gaga? Whereas Fergie sounds like an actual name to give someone, Ferguson. So on that, you can just condense it down. Well, this guy used his phone a friend as well, and still walked away with the cash. And I'm just going, okay, really? Did you have to do that when the answer is obviously Lady Gaga, because that sounds like an obvious stage name? And where's my just go, well, it could actually possibly be Fergie, but Stefani Germanotta. I don't think you could condense that to Fergie. And why would you condense it down to Fergie in the first place? It's just stupid. But the problem I have with Millionaire nowadays is people aren't taking a lot of risks, and I'm not happy watching the show going from people just getting 50 and 75 grand when I haven't seen a person take a risk for the 125,000. And the thing is, I would take the risk. Because so you got 75 grand. The lower level is 25 grand. There's 50 grand. That's a lot of cash. The higher level is 125 grand. That's doubling your money. That is getting your pay and twice more. Obviously, the reward is more than the risk. And people go, well, that 25 grand can get me a lot of things. I'm going, yeah, but 75 grand more get you a hell of a lot more than that. And I have watched in the entirety of the series with the clock from 2010 onwards, I haven't seen a person play for the higher amount of cash. And I see a lot of people burn through their lifelines all the way up to it, and it annoys me. It really annoys me. Just because if you're confident with an answer, you should take it, because your gut instinct is usually the right one. Prime example of the perfect game of Risk is Duel, and it was a short-lived TV series that had a brilliant game, and it was only lasted 8 episodes. I don't know why, but it was just a brilliant game. And how it worked, you had 2 players, and the host, Nick Hancock, would read out a question with 4 plus 1 answers, and each person had 10 chips, and the chip they used to physically place on an answer, and they used as many chips as they liked to cover the answers that they thought it was correct. And so they could play all four chips to cover all the answers, meaning they get the answer right, regardless of what happens. They could play 1 to save chips, but run less risk of it has to be correct or you're out of the game, or you play 2 chips to cover your odds. And the thing about this is, to win the game, you had to play smart, because you don't want to burn all your chips right there and then, because you have less when you get down to the bulk of it. Whereas if you use, say, 4 chips, because all the chips that are on the incorrect answers, you lose. They're out of the game. They go to the pot, and the jackpot increases, which starts at £100,000, by the way, and each chip is worth £1,000 into it. So that's a lot of money as it adds up. And the reason this worked was, as the game went along, both players started running out of chips. We had one guy had 1 chip left because he burned them all, and this other girl had 3 chips. So obviously she was in the better position because she could cover more answers than the guy with the 1 chip who could only cover 1 answer. And so this was, you had to risk it. You had to risk playing it safe, because if you played wildly, you would run out of chips and you would be really stuck in the later game. Whereas in terms of Millionaire, there's not really a penalty for that, because either way, you're going out with a big sum of cash. And because the lifelines help a lot. And the problem with that is you can pretty much get up to 20 grand pretty much instantly. So if you're going on the show, you're pretty much guaranteed to walk out with 20 grand as long as you play it safe. Slight risk to get to the 50, and by the time people get to the 50, they walk away because they have nothing, no lifelines except the switch, which I always use in the first or second question. I have never seen anybody switch in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, because I have never seen someone get to the 3rd, 4th, or 5th question in the 2nd tier. And that's what pees me off. Because it's boring seeing people just get to 50, walk away 50, walk away 50, walk away 20, walk away 50, ooh, 75, woohoo. It's boring. And that's why they're cancelling the show, because they're not seeing people take these bold risks. Which annoys me, and I'm pretty assuming it annoys a lot of Millionaire fans, like the people on my forum. Shout out to you guys, by the way, you're amazing. And one perfect example of how to do a risk version of Millionaire right is with the German Gamblers Edition. Now, this was a 2-week thing, and it happens every year. How it works is they have the basic risk format, which means you have the first 5 questions, and then the save level, but then you've got a straight dash all the way to million. There's no stops in that. You get a question wrong, you go all the way back down to 1,000. And the thing with this is that they give you the difference between normal version and risk version is normally the person could choose it. And with normal version, it gives you 2 safe havens and 3 lifelines. The risk version, it gives you a 4th lifeline, but no second safe haven. So for the Gamble special, it was put in automatic risk mode. They got 4 lifelines. The stinger is that if they used a lifeline, before they got to the 9th question, they lost use of all the lifelines. So they could use 1 lifeline before it and then lose all of them, or get to number 9 and then they could have free use of the lifeline. Another thing to enhance them was all the cash on the tree was doubled. And this made a big incentive to keep pushing it to make sure you level out. And it was really good. And this was a perfect thing where I saw people really wonder and use their head about the questions, because if they use a lifeline now, they would be screwed if they managed to get to the higher levels. Because the grand prize was €2 million, which I think is a fuck ton better than £1 million when compared. But the euro pound currency wise. And it pushed people to take risks because there was a lot more to offer the further they got on. And if they walked anyways, they've won €2,000, which I'm assuming is good, but I'm not too sure if it is, because I'm not really into that currency system. But when you compare it, the reason why Millionaire is going downhill is because people aren't taking risks. And the main reason for it, I think, being is the cash tree is just too much and too forgiving than the old one, where you had to really focus, because the lower level money was pathetic compared to the higher level ones, which was the real incentive. And that is my verdict of why the Millionaire is cancelling, because not many people winning is getting boring, and I just want to see someone hit the 100,000s. That's all I want to see, and then that's all I've wanted to see. Just because it's not people are taking risks, and that's pretty much what I'm saying. So if you want to get the big money, you got to risk it. And I think I'll stop here because I'm just going on half an hour rambling about Millionaire. I fucking hope this microphone's on. I think it may be. So that's my first episode of Game Show Gab, Game Show Gobble, something like that. So until then, next time, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you later. Bye bye. Stop!